And we're back with Thin White Line. Yes, to my left is Bob, Tim, and Jason. And this is 3 members of Thin White Line. 2 of the members couldn't be here today. And it's Sherry and...
Sharon and Dale.
Dale
plays drums and Sharon plays bass.
Great. I hear you guys are doing real well with your first cassette or last cassette that you had?
Yep. First cassette. We have our moments. First cassette was Dock at the Bus Stop. It was 12 songs. Mm-hmm. And all of them were originals except for Smokestack Lightning. And we have currently 5 tunes on the WPTS, it's the PIT playlist. And it's also being played by, I believe, YEP and RCT, which is CMU's radio station.
And a little bit of playing on the late lamented WXXP.
Great. Yeah, and we just sold out of the first 500 copies. It was printed up in Pittsburgh. So you might have a little problem getting a hold of one now, but if you contact the band, you could probably get one on a reissue.
That's great. From what I understand, the music that you do is it's like a conglomeration of a lot of things. It's R&B, rock, and new wave, or punk, hardcore, what? No,
everything.
Yeah.
New wave, well, what it is we have like an ultimate crossover band. What I wanted to do when I had the idea of like writing these tunes, not so much in putting the band together, but in writing the tunes, what I wanted to do was I wanted to write a tune in a different rock idiom each song or every other song. And we also have like a small amount of covers that they aren't top 40, but they're real picky kind of covers. I guess these guys could tell you a little bit better. But what we wanted to be able to do was play any venue that we wanted to. Whether if it was a folk venue, we could go out there without the drummer. If it's a R&B kind of venue, we can also hit that too. We also do some a cappella tunes, some little show tune type things. It's just different, and we're just trying to be original.
Okay, but you are the singer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And both of you guys play guitar.
Play guitar,
right? Is there anything you'd like these people to know about your music that would make you different than every other band that's in town? Because there are a lot of bands in town, I mean, rock bands and R&B bands.
The biggest thing is you probably won't see anyone quite like us because, I mean,
there isn't.
We're the 3, look at the 3 of us, 3 sort of different people, and then...
Dale's another story altogether.
I think like, when you go to see a band in this so-called scene, like they have one look, one style of music, and one following, and they get caught in a rut after a while, and then they just become history, like in 6 months if they make it that long. With us, we have a 7-foot hippie drummer, I'm not lying, 7 feet tall. We have a chick that plays bass, a black guy that sings, what I would call a modern man hippie, and a punk on guitar. So I mean, you have 5 diverse people that are going to anything from, Country Joe and the Fish, to James Brown, to...
Otis Redding fronting the Sex Pistols.
Yeah, and it's like, you take 5 such diverse people, and King Crimson and like Rush, and bands that are completely opposites of each other, and you put them all together, and you hit a groove, and everything melts together and just brings out this sound that, like, you can't say we sound like this, or we sound like that. It's very distinctive. As soon as you hear it, you're going to say, that's Thin White Line.
Yeah, and there is a groove. If people want to come see us, it's a guaranteed good time. Nobody leaves unhappy.
Yeah, and if you don't like one song we play, you'll like the next one.
That's perfect.
Because we'll play hardcore music, really heavy drive and hardcore punk, and these kids will sit there and they'll be like, oh yeah, slamming and stuff.
And then we'll go to a reggae
song
too.
Could be a reggae song, and then the hippies will come up and they'll start dancing. The one thing you'll see at our show that you won't ever see at another show is the 2 don't stand at either side of the stage. They come together. It's really beautiful.
That's nice.
And they all come together
really
and play
nice.
together.
Question,
tattoos,
real quick.
socks.
We all know how you got the name. What is your explanation that you usually give on TV?
That's his Mr. Porter.
Okay, everybody naturally thinks that, like, big lines. That's really not it. I was looking for a name. I was in a band called Young Lust. I was looking for a name that I thought was going to be original. And I was watching MTV at the time, and the Talking Heads video, Burning Down the House, was on. Right at the end of the video, there's the scene that fades out with the David Byrne's face just his face in the road, and the lines kept going up. And I just kept thinking, line, white line. So I figured thin white line. I was thinking from that Norman Mailer book, a thin red line. And that's not Norman Mailer. It might be the thin red line. It's about the Guadalcanal. I was thinking like, well, so I combined the two names, and it just clicked. Thin
It
white
is
line.
different and it is very catchy.
And anybody
across
that
with the
says
music.
that it's drug oriented, I mean, it's just full of it. And you could say,
Unimaginable.
hey, if they say it's drug oriented, then say, well, we have a lot of energy, you know, thin white line, you know, take it however you choose to, but we're all going to ride it one day.
And now a look at Thin White Line's video, Strange Glances.